too loud, I think it's a problem.
And right now, Ashton's gonna start the presentation. Hello everybody. I'm going to introduce Panama as aspects of geography, government, and economy lectures. Officially, Panama is known as Republic of Panama, and it's located in Central America. Panama borders, please, yeah, and Panama borders to Colombia to the south, and to Costa Rica to the north. Also, it shares a coastline with Atlantic and Pacific Ocean, and also Caribbean Sea, as you can see on the map. Okay, so let's talk about the flags. Panama's flag consists of 4 rectangle, 2 star, and 3 color. That's star, blue star state for blue star state for law. Red stars, red star represent about law, and blue represent for honesty, and also white color is for peaceful, and 2 red and blue rectangle, red for liberal party, political party, and blue is for conservative party. Maybe some of you think that the Panama is not very developed or country, but as you can see in the picture, since they use U.S. dollars and expand the Panama Canal, they are growing day by day, and also as aspects of economic. Panama climate is a tropical climate that most of the year is warm and humid, and also it's very good distance for travel and also tourist industry. The Panama administration division of 9 provinces that they are Boca del Toro, Chiriquí, Coquelin, Colón, Darien, Herrera, Los Santos, Panama, and Veraguas. There are 9 provinces that also Panama and Veraguas are 2 most important cities in economy. Right now, Levon want to continue.
So currency. Balboa is the official currency of Panama. It lives along with US dollars and divides to 100 cents, and $1 Canadian equal to 0.75 Panamanian Balboa. And also about GDP, which is gross domestic product, and GNP is gross national product, and balance of trade. GDP in 2017 and 2016 are relatively the same, so it's about 65 billion in 2017 and 62 billion in 2018. And GNP in 2017 is 59 million, and in 2018 is $56 million. Balance of trades is not really good because exports are less than imports, so it's only about minus 979,000 and 664,000. And Panama is very famous for its Panama Canal, which is a global service, and only around 10% of GDP accounts to Panama Canal. Also, Trans-Panama pipeline helps to transport crude oil through Pacific and Atlantic coasts. And also in 2012, Panama signed a free trade agreement with the United States of America, which boosted investments and trade flow. And later in 2014, they signed a free trade agreement with Mexico. And there also, I can show you a video about Panama Canal.
Steamer, my ship's called Al.
40 miles of the Panama Canal.
Got a cargo of sodas, they are locale.
40 miles of the Panama Canal.
Sailing across the Caribbean Sea to the Pacific in a jiffy, Peru, Panama, but not on land. I'd look silly with my ship in the sand.
Yo, Hal, try the canal. Yo, Hal, the canal is your pal. You can sail a cargo ship from sea to shining sea through the Panama Canal for a nominal fee.
You enter a lock, it's a ship corral.
40 miles on the Panama Canal.
You pay your money, then get a decal.
40 miles on the Panama Canal.
You cross the locks, they number 3, full of water for you and me. 100 feet wide, 41 feet deep, water enough to drench a sheep.
High lock, up goes the ship. Low lock, the ship takes a dip. First they raise the water level, then lower it again. Cross the Panama Canal, it's releasing.
We pass the locks with good morale.
40 miles of the Panama Canal.
The crew yells out,
Thank you, Hal. 40 miles on the Panama Canal.
"You're welcome, men. Wasn't that fun? 40 miles, our voyage is done. From Colon now, past Balboa. Adios, Panama, so long, aloha."
guys, I'm going to tell you about the social factors. So firstly about the healthcare system. In Panama, the healthcare system is not very nice. There are more of the private hospitals than the public hospitals, but it's like not more in number, but it's nice in quality. As in the doctors are very well trained. Okay, whatever facilities you get in the hospitals is very great. It's less in number. You won't get it like soon, but it's very nice. Whatever like facilities you get in the hospitals, in the private hospitals, it's very nice. So I would suggest, if in case you are going for a doctor treatment or anything, prefer the private hospitals in Panama. Now there are free examinations in the health clinics for poor people by the government. The Panama's healthcare system is operated by the Healthcare Ministry and the Social Security Fund in Panama. So as I said, the main issue is the healthcare system is not good because the private hospitals are situated in the city and not on the suburbs. Now the price in private hospitals is higher than the government hospitals, but as I said, the quality is very nice. The doctors are well trained. Now the legal system in Panama. The Panamanian judicial system was inherited by the Colombia's judicial system. So it is based on the French and the Spanish law, okay, but it has a great influence of the American law. Panama's judicial system comprises of the Supreme Court established by the Constitution and the ordinary and the specialized courts established by the law. So it has the Supreme Court, it is inherited by Colombia. So most of the Colombian constitution laws are being applied to Panama. Spanish is the official language and the most spoken language in Panama. 14% of the population, so that's nearly like 2.7 million people speak Spanish in Panama. And you won't have a problem because English, of course, it's in US, so people do speak in English, but only 14%. And the native language is Gaberi. It was spoken in Panama before the Spanish invasion in 1871. And the religion. So most Panamanians are Christians, the majority of Roman Catholics as the result of the Spanish colonial influence. There are other religions in Panama. There are Indians who have been migrated. There are for the country's tolerance and the freedom of religion. Yes, there is total freedom of religion in this country. So there are people coming from like different countries and are following their religion. And now Jonathan will continue for the business practices.
Okay, thank you, Karen. Good afternoon, my friends. So today I'm going to talk about business practices. So main in Panama, it's totally like States and Canada only. So whatever they are having business, the business culture they have, it's similar to USA and Canada. So first of all, let's see the greeting, business card, dress code and etiquette. So let's talk about it. So let's talk about business card. In Panama, business card usually they print on Spanish, because since the Spanish is the official language, they will be printing the business card on Spanish. So in the front side, they will be printing in Spanish, and back of the business card they will be printing in English. So but printing in Spanish, it's a very must rather than printing in English. So now let's talk about what we should do in Panama and what we shouldn't do in Panama. So let's first talk about the stuffs we can do in Panama. So begin conversation with small talk. So whenever there is a business meeting or in a group of meeting or conversation, they will like start to talk, they will get introduced with the people. Even it is foreign or otherwise the local people, they will start with a small talk, such as without talking the political stuffs. They will like a friendly talk. So the next one, eye contact. Eye contact is very most important thing in Panama. So whenever they speak to another person, another foreign person or otherwise local, they have to face their eyes. So that's the main important thing. And remember, it's very important to use the title Mr. or Mrs. It's very important to use during the meeting or any conversation, and be punctual. In Panama, even if you are like the meeting gets postponed, you have to be very punctual during the meetings, or even when you are meeting a friends in a friends or coffee shop or any places. So be on time, it's very must. So give women priority in the every situation. In Panama, even in the business meeting, otherwise dinner time, otherwise any kind of parties, women they give most priority to women. So during a dinner time, so when a women like during women time, like dinner time, if the person's once dinner is done, so if the person has to leave, first of all they give priority to women, so they can stand up and leave. So after that only men will follow up. So now let's talk about don't. So give gifts during parties or dinner time. Point index finger. Be too loud during conversation. Talk about politics. This is what I said. During conversation with small talks, you shouldn't talk about politics or social issues like Facebook or whatever. And giving gift during parties, it's they don't accept gifts actually. And pointing index finger. Actually, most of the time, Panamanians don't like when we are pointing the if I'm talking to this person, if he's the foreign person, if I'm talking like this, they won't like it. They will feel like it's uncomfortable. And be too loud during conversation. So during the conversation, even if it is business or otherwise like friendly talks, we shouldn't talk loudly. We should because Panamanians are they are very kind, and if we talk, they will feel uncomfortable mostly. So dress code. So Panamanians, it's mostly like States and Canada only. Like men wear suits and women wear dress or skirt and blouses, but because they don't have any kind of tradition in dress at all. So in business, like in meetings or in any kind of meetings, men will be wearing the suits, and women most of the time wear dresses or skirt or blouses. So, and the greeting, it's in the beginning I also said shaking hands is a common greeting. Like in States and Canada, everyone used to shake hands when they meet someone else newly, or otherwise the person they meet. So it's a very common thing in Panama too. So whenever you meet a business person, you should hi. So you should greet him like this only. So that's it. So thank you so much, and I now ask Erika to present the presentation.
Thank you. Buenos días para todos. In Spanish, good morning for everybody. I won't show you the next video.
In a world that changes with each second, there are still places where time stands still. Where ancient tribes preserve their rich cultural history. And the beauty of every tradition is matched only by the beauty of the land that gave birth to it. Journey back in time to live an experience of true discovery. Centuries have passed, the magic remains. Panama, with over 80 direct flights.
There are many reasons why Panamanians are one of the happiest people in the world. Because the climate, because the beautiful nature, beautiful beaches. However, one of the most crucial aspects is that the Panamanian people are very friendly and hardworking. The next, please. About the nationality, Panama has a mixture of ethnic diversity, such as Caucasian, Indians, Afro-Antilleans, and Afro-colonial. Also, other cultural roots like Spanish, Italian, Chinese, Hindu, Greek, Colombian, and Afro-American. I don't have pictures about the family, but food and family always are together, because in Panama the extended families are very important and very common. Extended families living together, and the children are generally raised for many family members. Panamanian families enjoy family dinner a lot. The typical food, the Panamanian cuisine is a mix of African, Spanish, and Native American techniques, dishes, and ingredients, reflecting its diverse population. The common ingredients are rice, bananas, plátano, cassava or yuca for the soup. The name of the soup is sancocho. Beef, chicken, pork, and seafood. In Panama are two important native groups, Emberas and Kunas. The economy of the groups is based on agriculture, fishing, and the manufactured clothing. We have here two accessories that you can see. The job of Kunas is with manufacture clothing, and the Emberas manufacture accessories with elements that symbolize the nature, the product of the nature. All these groups have a native language, but many of these groups speak in Spanish. Unfortunately, these accessories I bought in Bogota, Colombia, because we share the same ethnic groups with Panama. But unfortunately, many of the embarrassed people living in very bad conditions in the big cities and sell these accessories in the street, very cheaper, but they spend many months in make these accessories. Traditions. The local folklore is expressed through a multitude of festivals, dances, and traditions. This very important tradition is, the name is Los Diablos, the El Festival de los Diablos, or the Fest of Demons and Congos in Portobelo. These traditions have been transmitted from generation to generation, and that have many Spanish and African heritage in their majority. The custom of this festival is from the era of slavery during the colony, representative of a mockery. I don't know another word for a mockery. I don't know if you understand what is this mockery or mockery.
Ask anybody knows?
Masquerade.
No, mockery. I don't know another word for this. You know?
Mockery?
Yes.
Mock at people. That means
To laugh for the Spanish kings. No?
or your mockery means you're making fun of it.
Yes.
For the Spanish people.
For
Okay.
the Spanish
All right.
kings. The participants pretend to be the slaves playing the Spanish. And the beautiful pollera is the typical dress for the Panamanian woman. Originally came from Spain during colonial times. Pollera is the name that is known in Latin America, Spain and Panama, to a variety of skirts and dresses that are characterized by their elaborate ornaments. We have the last video about the pollera dances. Thank you for your attention.
And I'm going to talk about effective intercultural negotiation. And if you want to have a negotiation in Panama, you have to know like some of manners in here. So be on time, but forgive the locals if they're late. And you have to wear a black suit in initial meetings. And shake your hands when you first meet, embrace once you know each other. And begin with light conversation, as my friend said. And also expect it to take at least 2 to 3 meetings before you have a conclusion of the negotiation. And women will be shown civilly, so expect doors to be open and chairs to be pulled out for you. And for women agreement, the US and Panama trade geostrategic partnership from the time of the canal construction. The United States and Panama have made common costs and issues from security to commerce. And the trade agreement will help Americans and Panamas get even more benefits from these long-standing ties.
Just a moment. I want to add something about economic system in Panama. Needless to say that economic system in Panama attend to capitalist system that and also it's ranked at 50 top countries in capitalist system. So it's a good advantage for doing business in Panama. On the other hand, its population is 4,200,000 people. That I think it's not a significant population for doing a lot of business in Panama. Thank you.
Thank you for your attention, and I would like to say, as a team leader, thank you to the subject for our opportunity to work as a team and do research about this beautiful country.
Anybody has a question?
For the anthem, there wasn't any words that.
Something happened.
Okay, but there is usually
Yes.
like
Yeah.
actual words. Okay.
It's a long one too.
Question, comment.
Your slide, can you go back and there's a slide please? Another question?
Culture slide?
No, Erica, yours.
Culture.
Erica. And go, go back again. Okay?
No, cultural is.
No, so yours, your slide.
Seneca is culture part.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to see, were you mistaken by the word weaving?
Yes.
Oh yes, I know. Yesterday
Spelling, huh?
I know the Wendenberas, please, the picture Wendenberas and Kunaf.
See, weaving.
Yes, the word is
Weave.
weaving. This is
How come you
very,
guys didn't
is very
notice that?
different.
I mean, this is how you pay attention. I mean, you're supposed to ask a question, what does that mean, winning? See, that means,
Something handmade.
sorry?
Something handmade.
Yes, but the handmade.
No, what I mean is you didn't
Wait,
notice that is the wrong spelling.
But when.
That's the question you're supposed to ask. You know, I mean, pay attention to what's going on.
It's a
here, you
mistake,
know?
sorry.
That's fine, I mean, I'm glad you put that, so I know that now nobody was paying attention.
And now I know the, what is, what is.
My observation anyway. Okay,